Hello, Peter D. Shalane here again, and today my video is entitled Real Estate Tips. Location is critical, and this is part 3. I've been focusing on this for the last few weeks because location is just so important. You just cannot overemphasize the importance of location. I've been teaching this phrase, and the phrase goes like this, that when you're buying a home, you're not just buying the home, you're buying the neighborhood. You need to, when you buy a home, drive around the neighborhood and make sure that you feel comfortable, that you feel good about the neighborhood, because when you sell your home, that's what your buyer is going to do. They're going to drive around the neighborhood. People are not just buying a house, they're buying the neighborhood. I talked about some of the factors in terms of location, such as close access to major transportation routes. Everybody wants to get to work real quick. And schooling and transit. And last time I talked about this, I mentioned the importance of people-friendly green space, convenient green space that works for people. How important that is, because everybody's concerned about their health nowadays, and everybody is concerned about weight management and exercise. So today what I'd like to do is share with you a story of a client that I was representing, and I was selling the home for this client. I didn't represent the client when they bought the home. I had a really tough challenge selling the home because the home was backing onto a very major roadway. I'm talking 24/7 truck traffic right behind the home, 24/7 emergency vehicles right behind the home. It was just an enormously busy road, huge amount of decibels and all the distraction and all the diesel fumes. And then, to make it even worse, right behind the home were all these giant neon signs that were promoting and advertising big box stores like McDonald's and Shoppers Drug Mart and so on. These neon lights that would be flashing 24/7 all the time. So when you stood at the kitchen looking out the window, you heard this enormous noise from the traffic. You saw the traffic, and then in the nighttime or in the evening, you could see the flashing lights from the neon signs. These neon signs were not just big and bright, they were flashing. I had to sell that house. So when I came along, the home had already been on the market with a previous realtor for quite a long time. It had been on the market for months and months, and of course it didn't sell. And so then I came along and I just asked my client a couple of questions. I said, when you bought the home, was it disclosed to you that this is a very serious negative what you're backing onto? And secondly, was there a price reduction negotiated for you in light of that serious negative? And the reason why that's important is because you're going to now have to give a price reduction to your buyer to persuade your buyer to buy this home. And the answer was no and no. That disclosure was not made, and that price reduction was not executed for this particular client. And I just felt compassion. This was a first-time buyer, and now he's a first-time seller. And so it was just really tough for this particular individual. I felt a lot of compassion, and he just needed to have his home sold. It was a very, very bad situation for him. And the home was vacant. He just needed to get this home sold quickly. So what I did is I just listened in my spirit to a strategy as to how I could sell this home. And so I determined something that was special about the house, and I focused on what was special. Every home has something that's special, and most of the time, a home has a number of things that are special. So I focused on that. I made that my marketing strategy. I geared my advertising to that, and the home sold. I was so happy. I was so happy for my client. That was the key thing for me, is to get rid of the burden that my client had, to get rid of the pain of that particular property, the mistake that he had made in the past, and the huge monthly financial cost of carrying that vacant property. So here's my point. When you make a bad decision, when you buy a bad location, it has a negative impact. In this particular case, I was able to sell the home, and he was glad about that, he, the seller. But I have to be honest with you, the home did sell for less than what it could have sold for if the home would have been on the other side of the street, not backing onto that busy roadway, not backing onto those neon signs. I'm encouraging you, when you buy a home, pay strong attention to the location. Watch for negatives, avoid the negatives. Negatives are a busy road, big neon signs. Those are negatives. A 7-Eleven store that's like next door, whoa, that's a huge negative. I'm encouraging you to watch for negatives. Avoid homes with bad locations, and it'll go better for you. It'll be a better investment. This is Peter DeShaleen. Have a wonderful day.